Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Dexter Resurrection Review Series. So he's an idiot. Trust now. I'd have to look very good on the YouTube. Obviously, lots of people really enjoy like that. Subscribe if you like the other stuff we do. It's a patio pod, little earlier. As we record this, is GV Day, but AK has it set in. That's gonna be 10 years next year, a whole decade doing this, sitting in a chair, microphone in hand.
No, it hasn't. I looked at this, thought, man, I gotta finish this trip.
Yes, for feel that don't all because people are sending in just paragraphs and name. We get all those names. We got a little longer. Do you want to see the teaser? You're getting the. You're getting something. Teaser of our third movie. Look out for that. If you want to join Patreon on the phase 2 tier and up, you can join the trivia battle. It'll be my team versus Dylan team. This week, we're going to spin the wheel and make teams. So if you want to join, let me know. It'll be up until like Wednesday. I'll put on another call this weekend, but Wednesday is the cutoff date, and then you can't join. I will post, I think the trivia's like at 10 or 12:30 p.m. PST. I will post a full schedule as well because we got that. We got a couples quiz with you, me, Dylan, and Kirkland, just see how well we know each other the past 10 years. We got, oh boy, what else do we got? Well, I guess officially confirmed. I think that's probably the reason why Kirkland's not here. He said, oh, he had to go out of town, but I think he's just, last episode we did, when was the last episode we did? What was the last podcast we recorded with all of us, all four of us?
Wasn't all four of us? It's been a hot minute because Dylan wasn't there for Fantastic Four, and then I did a weekly geek with him. I don't know if we did all the news together lately.
Yeah, either then. I don't think it's been. Yeah, it hasn't been us four since I guess he was on
a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I think he's avoiding us because, as people, if they don't know, we'll talk about that in the future. Kirkland and Kyle revealed to be our attacker. So what happened? GV Day, myself and Taylor Field teaming up for the first time ever in a wrestling match to verse Kirkland and Kyle in a I Quit tag team match. Want more details, look out for that, but that's probably why Kirkland's avoiding us. But yeah, 7 events, lots of faces from the past that are going to pop either in the stream or video message, best of and montages, a bunch of announcements for the day and for the future content. It's going to be a very special day. So tune in August 9th, 10 a.m. PST for at least 10 hours. Going to be a good time. And yeah, lots of stuff on the feeds. Check out the gimmick. If you're into wrestling, me and the boys are recording episodes Saturday and Sunday because SummerSlam, second biggest weekend of the WWE. We got, side quest is always popping off. Me and Dylan just did a Marvel token fighting one. We got Weekly Geek coming up. Well, we might have... Yeah, I can't remember. We got weapons next week. We got tons of stuff. And we got to continue conversations. There's too much. That's why the best way to do is to subscribe. And if you want to keep updated, the Patreon, there's a free tier. So the free tier will tell you the schedule. And then Facebook, Twitter, podcast, everything. We very much appreciate it. Get every episode ad free. Talk about that later. But Taylor Field, what did you think about Dexter Resurrection Episode 5? Non-spoiler.
I really enjoyed this episode. Again, this show, it's really funny how it's something that can be a little bit, the trailer's not selling me very much. What are we getting into? Oh no. But then once we get into the thick of it, man, things too that they were alluding to, I can't remember if it was the last episode or the episode before, just some things with Dexter's character. And I'm really starting to like Harrison as a character a lot more.
I told you, need those two in there, and good job. Checking my kind of the ending for that character, but it still felt like, oh, there's some stuff left on the table, whether it was Batista or some other stuff, and we're kind of diving into them now. So I appreciate that even more so, as far as, hey, I don't know if this show should be continuing, but there's some stuff that we could have done. Let's do that stuff while we're here, because I think we're all assuming, I could be wrong, but I think we're all assuming that I don't think Dexter's going anywhere this time. Like even if he gets arrested at the end of the season, I'm convinced he'll break out and be completely freed, right? So I think they have to kind of lay some groundwork. I think there's multiple character moments that I really liked here. One thing with Harrison that we kind of talked about before, and I think the way that Dexter gets there is kind of jumbled. I think, much to my name of, War Machine saying this in Endgame, but I think it works for the episode. But man, Dexter is just like, not dumb in the sense of a killer dumb. There's just so much stuff that it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like even Ghost Harry will spell it out for him. He's like, I don't know, I think I'm going to do this. And that goes wrong. And he's like, yeah, I shouldn't have done this. And this man's like in his 50s. He's made this mistake so many times. Like, that's the only problem with this show. Like, there's some really entertaining stuff here. I actually really love how they closed kind of 2 storylines here. I thought it was really clever. But there's just like him as a character, like, as far as developing. He just feels like he's stunted, like he can't grow. That like when we're in like because what we got 8 seasons of the show, New Blood. So this is really season 10. I know they've renamed them, but really this is season 10, right? So in the 10 years Dexter's been around, as far as like show wise, still making a bunch of mistakes that okay, we're just gonna do. Let's see. Kristen Ritter was very fun this episode. She's always fun. Yeah, I have a couple interesting things to bring up that are more on the spoiler side. So obviously I'm not going to bring that up right here, but some more questions. And there's some things from last week even that I felt like almost dumb for asking them, but then they paid off tonight. So I was like, okay, I was happy I asked it. So if you're enjoying just kind of the wild, wild west of this Dexter setup, I think they're doing a good job. I think they're making it intriguing every week. And much like well, there's one thing that's a spoiler that has to do with the pizza bet, but there's that thing, and there's a thing that happened last week with Neil Patrick Harris, and there's a thing that happens with another character. It feels like we're not wasting time, which is good. Like we're in the thick of it right away. Like I thought there was gonna be a lot more plotting going on, and it isn't, which is good because it is only 10 episodes and there's a lot of characters, so you could run the risk of how we gonna close this loop and do everything. But I feel like we're moving at a good pace. As always, I still don't understand why Uma Thurman's in this role. Like she's in like each show like for 5 minutes less. Like she's a great actress. I'd like to see more. But no, I thought this was a very good episode. Kind of like very fun like last week, and it set the stakes for a lot of interesting avenues to go down in the next little bit. And yeah, so I think this was a good episode. A fun time I'm at least having with Desert Resurrection right now. Anything else non-spoiler, Taylor?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to take our first ad break. When we get back from that, we will be in the spoiler territory. So if you've not seen the episode, come back later, and we'll be here. So we'll be right back. And we are back. So Taylor, you know, the other thing that's happening, GV Day, 10-year anniversary, August 9th. All these events, all this stuff. The other event you can mark there, number 8, Trav's getting a large 2-topping pizza from Red Swan. My goodness. Oh, it's going to be
You
good.
deserve it. You put all this hard work in, you know, you've earned it.
Taylor's trying to pity bet me. I'm not like Taylor. I'm not taking the high road of like, oh, you know, you don't gotta get me the pizza. No, this is 2 years in a row now. GV Day, Taylor's owed me a pizza. So, yeah, we'll start right there. Where last week we debate. Well, me and Kirkland, you know, were pretty. I don't think there was a debate, but we debated. Last week, Harrison's going to go turn himself in, get stopped by Dexter. Me and Kirkland thought it was a human, like real Dexter, and Taylor thought it was a ghost. Taylor, not a ghost, right? Because right away
when he's driving the car, I thought, oh no, the ghost is driving the car.
When I was tipped off, because I never thought it was a ghost, but when I knew I had it locked in, is when he grabbed Harrison and turned him. At one point, he like clutched his shoulder in pain. I'm like, if he's a ghost, he ain't clutching his shoulder in pain. So I knew I had it locked. So yeah, how your theory was wrong. Not ghost. And this, I'm happy because Dexter and Harrison are now back together. We got 5 episodes. They could have waited even longer, but I thought they waited the right amount of time to put them together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was good too. That was a great scene of them just talking and how Dexter's just like, I got so many reasons to kill, but you know, you're my reason that I want to live and all that. And it's hard for me to necessarily believe that he's telling the truth because Dexter's main thing, whether he believes it or not or thinks it or not, is self-preservation and survival. And him putting his own son on the line for that, like you might think he saved Harrison from going into the cops for Harrison's sake, but I feel like no, he did it for his own sake because that would be really, really damaging. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you on that point too, where because this is where it's like, is Dexter going to be selfish, which I prefer because that's to the character, done that many times, or is the show again try to kind of gaslight us? And I'm hoping, like I said, it is the former because he was all about like I'm gonna. Like he was all about Kristen Ritter in this episode, right? Talking about this, and Harry's like, maybe this isn't a good, substitution for your son. Like your son's right there. Your son's still around. You got to be in your life, son. He's like, oh no, I can do this, and then we'll get to her and why that's not going to work out. So that's why for me it felt very disingenuous as far as I guess he was saying before because he felt I don't know, it's just weird of like you're my reason to live, but the show started with he's recovering from like a death gunshot from his son, right? Like he told his son to kill him, so that's kind of odd. He literally was just gonna hopefully have a relationship with somebody, and when that didn't work out, he's like, well, guess I'm gonna go to my son. Like there's all these signs that it's just like I don't know how genuine this is, and again, I don't want it to be genuine because I think if it is, it just doesn't, like the show's writing doesn't add up there, because then like put some delay there, or make it that Dexter turns Kristen Ritter away, and not because he finds something bad out better. Like, oh, I guess I can't be a third. Like he didn't choose the Harrison thing. It felt like Harrison was just like a second option, you know? So I hope they stick with the more selfish route. But yeah, I guess Harrison, which is just so funny. I did like that where they still have Dexter again being idiotic, and this is the idiotic I like, where he reveals he's alive. Obviously, big shock for Harrison. And then after this big conversation, he's like, well, you want to go get a bite to eat? Like he has no idea. Like he doesn't have any idea about the damage he's caused this guy. He can't like compensate in his head what's happening. And then same thing later on. Harrison's like, hey, I just need room from you. Like just don't contact for a bit. When I'm ready, I'll contact you. Okay, break on 5. They do that. But 20 minutes later, Dexter's like, hey, calls him like, hey, how's it going? Like, you're just supposed to not talk to me. Oh, just want to see how you're doing, son. And he's like, well, that's the point of boundaries. Like, don't talk to me. And Dexter's like, oh, okay. You want to meet up or something? Like, he's like the worst, like ex-boyfriend or person that's like just like, hey, we're on a break, and like doesn't even get it. But that to me is true to the Dexter character. He just doesn't process things that way. He's gotten a bit better at it, but he just does. It's not as a big hang up for him as it is Harrison. So, and obviously we'll probably loop this into talking about Kristen Ritter's character, but I just want to start on this now. I absolutely loved how they dealt with getting rid of the guy that Harrison killed, like giving him an alibi.
Oh yeah.
That was so good. That's the clever Dexter stuff I like, where we'll get to why, but he sets up Kristen Ritter to get arrested because he finds out she's not just killing innocent people, which, like I said last week, because I asked you guys, I'm like, did I miss something? Like, did they clarify she kills innocent people? And like, oh, yeah, but then they made a good point in this episode that she never said that. Just the newspapers did,
Yeah.
right? And then I guess we'll just talk about them both at the same time. But like she clarified that, hey, that's how it started. And then, I tried to do it with another guy and didn't really work. So now I just kind of killed just to scratch the itch, which I think Michael Seal did a good job. Like his selling of like, oh, like another, which I even said, because Emily's not watching. She kind of checked out after New Blood. She came in the room while they were having dinner. I'm like, oh yeah, he's trying to fuck Kristen Ritter. And she's like, really? Like, why? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Harry literally just said, like, because Kristen Ritter pitches him like, oh, how about we do a kill together? And Harry is literally like, hey, this never works out. Like Miguel, Lumen, like it always goes down a bad path. Again, what sucks for the Dexter character is he doesn't have the moment where he's like, yeah, you're right, Harry. He just like gets fooled and figures out like, oh, she's a bad guy. So
But
I can't
remember,
kill her.
Harry's not really Harry. That's himself talking to himself, right?
But
and I
my
think
po-
that's what works.
It is, but my point is, it's not his. Like, I would have liked it in that storyline a little bit better, even if she was an innocent killer or killed like bad people. If he came to the conclusion of, you know what, this is bad, it's gone bad before, I can't do this, I'm gonna step back. But he didn't. It kind of got taken away because she kills bad or good people, right? So he didn't make that decision. He was always gonna go after because the code, but.
But that fits with the character too, right? I mean,
Yep,
when
absolutely.
Harrison's naming off all of these people that he menage a trois with, it's it makes sense. Like he's always actively
Harry,
looking
not
for
Harrison.
Harry, yeah. He's always actively looking for someone to do
Yes.
the ritual with and to kill with. And, I mean, we've seen, like they mentioned Lumen and Miguel Prado.
Where the fuck
and
is she? You know.
There's
I know Superman Mike's
so
a
many.
fan. I'm not a fan, but you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to him bumping into Julia Stiles in one of these seasons. I think that kind of.
She's in New York. She's gonna come back.
Where did she go? Because I remember in season
Didn't she
5,
hop on a bus or something?
yeah,
or a
that's what I
train?
mean. Like, yeah, well, I know where she went. Yeah, because what happens is when she killed all the people, her dark passenger was gone. I'll carry it for you. But I can't remember where she resided from. But yeah, I would actually not be opposed to him bumping into her because it'd be funny to see him with a son, etc.
Did they sleep together? Were they romantic?
Yes, that's why I hated it, because they have a quick little season 5 history lesson. Season 4 ends. They talk about this in this episode. Rita gets killed, and then season 5, the premiere, Dexter realizes that he actually did love Rita because he's trying to think like to describe these feelings he's having, and then he's like, "Oh, it's love." But cut to 7 episodes later, he's just like banging Lumen after they killed some dude. Like that's what I hated. Like they should have just saved Lumen a little bit longer. It never computed to me as this guy who finally figured out that he loved his wife, and then like I'm just like gonna replace her and stuff like that, right? But they did get romantically involved, and then yeah, she left once her dark pasture was gone. But anyways, yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
didn't work out, and yeah, so they reveal that yeah, she kills good people, just kills anybody. She doesn't like have a code. She's just killing anybody, which I thought was extra shitty for the innocent people she killed because they talked about anybody that she killed was deemed like a rapist or a pedophile.
Well,
And
you got a guy, maybe his wife cheats on him and he goes to the bar because he's depressed, getting a drink, and then she strolls in and then ends up murdering him or something.
well, that or even just like this guy at the bar she picked up in this episode, like he just seemed like a regular random guy, right? So imagine if you're just this random guy at the bar, you get killed, and because you got killed by was it Lady Justice or Lady Vengeance? What the heck was
Lady
her
Vengeance.
name? Because you get killed by Lady Vengeance, now you're deemed a sexual assaulter, even though he's a completely innocent man. So it's like a double. Like she kills you, and then also,
That is.
yeah, it's fine if you're a bad guy. If you're a bad guy, you know, you deserve the crime. But like if you're a good innocent person, you don't deserve that tag of being an assaulter. But anyway, so what Dexter's gonna do is he finds out about the she wanted to do a combined kill, and he's kind of considering it. Even though I thought I get why they were moving fast because what happened at the end of this episode, but with him considering that, and even too, he's like, maybe I should tell her I'm the Bay Harbor Butcher. It's like, what? Like,
Spent a lot of time in Miami.
yeah, like you said, he's always looking for connection, but I was like, this is moving way too fast. Like you just start spinning with this girl. She's in a serial killer table cult, which again, he found out by mistake. He never questioned why she killed innocent people but was into the dark passenger killer, right? He never once questioned that. She like gives that up. So he decides, okay, well, I can't kill her because obviously, like they talked about last week, two killers can't go missing. So he's gonna not frame her, but he's gonna call the police when she has a victim, and then great New York accent Michael C. Hall does to call like someone's screaming next door, and
Oh, that was good. You gotta send help next door.
I don't know who it is, but just do it. But like, so that happens. They bust open, and he found a trophy case. And what he did, long story short, because we went some tangents, he left the guy's watch that Harrison killed,
That was
left his watch,
perfect.
in her box. So now it fits the alibi because one, he was trying to assault her, like assault that woman, and they were like, "Hey, like scumbag should die," but who stopped him, right? Like, how did this happen? And now it makes complete sense of, oh, if it's this killer that kills people that assault other people, she would find him maybe mid-assault and stop him, right? Versus a regular person. So obviously I still think that could come back eventually to bite Harrison or Dexter, but it like buys him at least like a season's worth of time, right? Like it'll be revealed later on. And yeah, what did you think about all this stuff? You chimed in a little bit. What do you think about her actually killing good people, Dexter setting her up, the evidence, all that stuff?
I loved all of it. I thought it was great, and I kind of suspected it before it was happening. I thought, okay, maybe like the next episode or something like that, we'll get Dexter planting it because I was trying to look for outs for Harrison, and this made total sense. And sure enough, that's how it plays out. And I liked them like doing the little team up thing, and she was like with him, and she's like, let's just get into a random one, and he just fits playing the role of this other serial killer he's trying to pretend to be. He's got his hood on and he's just trying to like get into that zone. But I'm curious how it's going to play out in the long run and how she's going to share with Uma Thurman like, okay, well, like there's something off with Rob. What was his name? Rob?
Who? The guy
The
she killed?
No, the guy that Dexter's impersonating.
Oh, I don't remember. I just keep calling him Dark Passenger Killer.
Dark Passenger, yeah. So well, I think it'll be interesting to see how she kind of says like, yeah, well, we were gonna have sex, and then he just ran off, and then he just got shy and didn't want to go through with the kill that we were doing together. So maybe she might think like, oh, maybe this guy isn't even a killer. Maybe he's like working for the feds or something like that, and that would be kind of compromising. I don't know, but there'll be something, I'm sure. But everything that was involved with it, and just her getting the boot, and Dexter just when he opened the blinds and stuff, and then he was off in the distance. There's a quick like transitioning scene there when she goes into her apartment, and it just like cuts to the window, and Dexter just like immediate close up just watching, and
I
think
know.
before he made the call.
And then like it's so funny. Like I know what they're going for, but when she starts to make out the guy, they show Dexter, and he's like unsure,
Oh,
like what's
yeah.
going on. Yeah, something going on there. But
I really liked when again she was taken down, or she was kidnapped, or not kidnapped, but like jailed and all that kind of stuff. And then it's on the news report, Batista's like, oh, what? Oh
Oh, I
no,
know.
this
Yeah.
can't be. Like he's just in total shock, and he's looking at pictures of Harrison, and he's looking at the photos like, I made a big mistake. I got to apologize to Harrison or something like that. And it just reminded me, I don't think you were on the episode, but me and Kirkland did for one of the reviews for Original Sin. We were just laughing our heads off when there was a scene where Batista was focused on the fact that the criminal was like this guy or something like that,
Yes,
and
I
Dexter was
remember.
like, "Oh, da 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 da," and then Angel
Have
Batista's
you
like,
looked
"Oh,"
this? Yeah. Have you looked
he's
at
like,
this route? And he's like,
he's
yeah.
like, "Oh, thanks for talking me off that ledge, Dex." And that line is just, it's like seared into my mind, and so I just feel like again here, every time something happens that he's a softie and he's a sweetheart and he's a
You took
nice
it that
guy, but
way. I
he's
didn't take.
such a.
I didn't take
How'd
it
you
this
take
way.
it?
I didn't take it that way this time. I took it that this time he's just like always getting away with it again.
He is, but this
Yeah.
line just always puts it in my mind, and I don't know if I don't know if he thinks like, oh, Dexter got away with it because like
I think he did.
I think it's tricky because like
I
you're
think he's
dealing with
woken
a
up
genuine.
Batista. Not woke
I don't
Batista,
know
he's
because
woken
it's
up.
like
What's he gonna do the rest of the season then? Come go buddy out with Dexter, be like, let's go get a bite
like,
to eat.
here,
then?
I got a job for you back at Miami PD.
You really talked me off the edge there. No, he's
you really
retired
talked me off
now.
that ledge, Dex. yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I just think that it's going to be interesting to see how it does play out because I mean, it's not like was she framed? Yes, but she's a real serial killer, and they got tons of evidence on that. So I
But the
think that
sa- the
does
s-
change the dynamic.
I don't think it does because that's the same way they did with LaGuerta, right? Deb killed LaGuerta and they pinned it on another killer. So that's why I think Batista's like this fucking guy because like that's a perfect alibi, right? That gets away because nobody questioned it was Dexter killing LaGuerta because it was this former criminal that they had a beef and she was like they had all this, she arrested him, like all this backstory, right? And then it's like, well, if this mob guy that LaGuerta's against kills her, like, oh, of course that would be who killed her, right? So I think the same way here, it's the exact same thing of, oh, who would kill the serial, like the rapist guy? He was a serial rapist, remember? I'll do it again. Like he definitely was. Like, oh yeah, Lady Vengeance, yeah, she would do that. So that's why I think he was looking at the TV like this motherfucker has somehow done it again. So I don't think it's this time. I think this time he sees it all. I think I think Chief Bishop when she gave him all that evidence, he had an awakening and he cannot be fooled anymore. Especially now with Dexter knowing, he even said like, "Oh, I'm as white." Well, knowing Batista's after him, I think they're gonna, now that the hotel cops are off of him, they might be around a bit more, but I think they're gonna shift to Batista being the main like police antagonist thing. The only thing that questions me is like, what's gonna happen? Like, is Batista gonna somehow find out about this like serial killer table or what this situation is? My new theory is, because I don't think, I love it to end in ways Dexter getting killed or caught, but my new theory is at some point Dexter, Harrison, and Batista are going to be going up against Peter Dinklage and his killers, and Dexter and Batista are going to have to work together to get a situation, but then after that Dexter's going to skip town and Batista will still be hunting him, like he'll be after him again. That's my theory, what's going to happen, that they'll work together, but because of that, to survive, he has to let Dexter get away, and then because I really hope Batista doesn't die. That to me is one.
Maybe Dexter recruits him. Like, you could be my next Miguel Prado.
Oh my god, I don't think that, because again, last week Batista brought up a lot of people that had died. Which again, this is why I think the show has to be. If they're not, I'll docket points at the end of the season. It has to be writing Dexter as a bad guy because so his first meet cute, like he scares Harrison half to death to go back to their place and everything like that. And he's like, yeah. He's like, why aren't you arrested? Why aren't you out of here? He's like, oh, Chief Bishop cleared the charges. And he's like, yeah, it was proven that Logan was firing a gun at me in self-defense. Again, if people don't remember, Dexter said, hey, I really want some water. Here you go. And he grabbed Logan by the arm.
Self-defense. Self-defense.
Yeah, for Logan, it was self-defense. For Officer Logan, it was because he handed Dexter a bottle of water and Dexter grabbed his wrist.
It's not how the law sees it. The law is on Dexter's side.
That's where, to me, if there's two routes it can go, that's another, the positive is that is Dexter, again, being a complete socio and psychopath, like not even like, oh yeah, no, it's innocent, like just believing that, like being a whole Mandela effect. and that's good because whether that'll bite him in the ass in the future, yet, or if it's literally just to write off of, like we said, okay, Harrison, he remember that's why he wouldn't run away with him. He's like, you killed Officer Logan, right? And he's like, I'm not going with you. You're going to jail. So if that is literally the reason how they write that off, of, the writers sit around being like, oh, Harrison was so mad last season about him killing that guy. What do we do? Well, just say it was self defense. But even then, like that to me, like right now, still makes Harrison feel dumb because why wouldn't you ask more? Why wouldn't you be like, yeah, but it was self defense against a cop who arrested you, like for a crime you committed, not like not like it wasn't a mix up. Like Harrison has the benefit of knowing Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher. It's not a mix up. So I do you think that is just to whisk away the storyline? Like, oh, let's just deal with the Logan thing, or do you think that's something that's going to maybe play up again later? Because Batista last week was talking about all the innocent people Dexter had hurt, and now here he's lying. He is lying that like he killed him in self defense. So what do you think? Do you think it's going to be a character thing, or do you think it's just the writers just trying to like, whatever, get rid of that story and let's move on?
I think they're just trying to get rid of the story and
God
move on.
damn it.
It's not relevant really anymore, so why keep it?
Taylor Harrison would not go. He would not have a relationship with his dad because he killed an innocent man. That is key to the storyline in Harrison. It is key to the plot.
Yeah, but they're just banning it. I mean, they're moving ahead now. I mean, the bigger thing here was him and the secret that was involved with his mom. And I think that was a great conversation when he's just saying like
Yeah, that was
about
great.
Trinity, like, oh yeah, I thought I could learn from him, and I'm responsible for your mom dying and all that. And
And then Harrison should be like, yeah, what about Officer Logan? Want to explain that situation a bit more? Remember I shot you because of that? Remember
they
I said
already
sh-
talked about it. They already
They
dealt with
did
that.
it. Oh, self-defense. That's what I mean. It is key because that was the whole reason Dexter was shot. Was that cop? That is key. He in this episode grabbed his shoulder because he was shot because Harrison didn't want to go with him because he killed that cop. And it's just like that stuff. Like I said, I'm hoping it turns around. But if it's just a disregard, I don't know. Like I don't know if I can give this show like an above 7 score. Then if they disregard that so easily, it's just the retconning this show just does on a whim is so frustrating. But well, let's take another ad break and we'll be right back. And we're back, and that's something you referred to that I was referring to the non-spoilers really love because we said that with Batista, and then we also said with Harrison because remember I think Harrison finds out Dexter's like like a killer, like he knows he's a killer, but like a serial killer. I think it's like episode 8 or I think it's like end of 7 into 8 where there's only like 2 episodes left of New Blood, and we're like there's so much ground to cover, and I think that's why we all thought Dexter was going to survive because they hadn't really talked about any of this stuff. But though Dexter got shot, but of course he still survived. But I agree with you, I really like that scene because it is like time to like tell him some of this stuff. And again, I like that he did fully cope to that at least, but that to me he coped that because all those people are dead. Trinity's dead, Deborah's dead, Rita's dead. Like it's easy for him to say that now. Or Harrison, he'll lie to Harrison because he's alive. But no, I liked the conversation of telling everything that happened there. Where Trinity thought he could learn with him, that was a mistake. And I like that Dexter. He's like, I think he might have said I was an idiot. Or I was so dumb. Like, which is good. So, but even though Dexter, even last week was talking about the ponytail guy, right? Remember? And he's like, oh, how does he do it? How does he have a family? So already this guy like he learns
Learn.
again by Harrison. He's gonna get killed by that ponytail. But no, that was a really good scene. They ended up like holding hands and embracing there at the end. So we'll see what happens. Just at the same time, it's just like, oh, and also in that conversation too. This will be interesting. They talked about him killing that guy, and then Harrison's like, I'm not like you. The first time I said that, Dexter was a little iffy about that. But then after he did accept that, he's like, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to turn myself in. You were about to. I'm not going to ever try and mold you into my way ever again. So what do you think is going to come of that? Because we always talked about before, right? Like the first few episodes, Dexter was like, oh, yeah, he's finding his own code. He's doing this stuff. And at least this is, for me, a positive. I thought the show was forcing that because New Blood, again, doesn't matter. They can just retcon. But at least in New Blood, they showed, like, no, Harrison's not, like, a killer. Like, he's not like the Dexter type of killer, right? Like, he's not going to be, he doesn't have that urge. So now it seems like Dexter, okay, I won't mold you. So what do you think you can now do with Harrison and Dexter other than just, like, having the estranged father and son relationship going on?
I mean, I don't know. Going forward, he just pretends that he's not gonna kill people, but he does kill people. I mean, I don't know
Who,
how you have
Dexter or Harrison?
yeah, Dexter. I mean, I don't know
No.
how you have this relationship where they like how is Harrison ever going to be okay with what Dexter does? Because I think the big thing that or Harrison appreciated was that Dexter didn't kill the serial killer. Dexter let the law go into like effect here and reprimand her, and that's what really made Harrison kind of turn over a new leaf here towards Dexter. So Dexter can't do that for the remainder of his life. He's got to kill. So I don't know how they come to a compromise.
Well, I felt like it was going to be like, which is a weird thing, that they're going to have a relationship, but Dexter's still just going to like kill on the side. Then they're just not going to talk about it, which is like, I don't know. I like if Dexter wants to get married, have kids, all that stuff. Like I would be, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens if I was Harrison. I'm just like, hey, if I'm not going to shoot you and not going to arrest you, that's great. Happy around, but like, I don't think I want you in my life, which is funny because Harrison brings up like, oh, what about all the innocent people like LaGuardia and mom and stuff? And he's like, well, that was in the old life, but in my life I have you now, and I think you could be my family. But it's just like, yeah, but again, that's how you lost all these people. Is you're trying to have relationships with them, so it's he's just making the same mistake again. And I just don't know how could Harrison have like grandkids and have like Dexter just come over and chill out,
Yeah,
So
that would be
and even
uncomfortable.
and even then, like it's like I don't know. That's why I still need to see how much Dexter is like truthful about this because it felt like for a few episodes there, he was just other than Harrison being in trouble, he has a connection with him still, but just felt like he was kind of cool, just being like a serial killer now. Like he even said like, "Oh, no attachments," and then
Yeah.
Harry was like, "Oh, but your father now," and he's like, "Oh, right." Like he kind of felt bummed about it. So I feel like to me that's still the better route. Is just like, "Hey, we've made good. Here's my number. Like, call me if you ever need me." But let's like maybe let's stay each other alive. Like Harrison, Harrison, I don't want you to get hurt. And Dexter, like you're just a fucking storm of stuff going on. So like stay away from me. Like I think they should just agree to let bygones be bygones. But like I don't know, what are they gonna like? Is he gonna go on a date with that girl and he's gonna like introduce like I wouldn't have been fucking introducing her to Dexter at all. Like
Depends how that goes, because I mean, she doesn't seem really interested at all. So I don't know if they're gonna actually form a relationship. But again, that'd be rushed. I think if anything, it'll be the reverse. Dexter's gonna be like upstairs with the landlords, be like, "Hey, can I bring my son?" And the guy's gonna be like, "Oh, absolutely, yeah, bring your son," because he's gonna know, he knows Dexter had some problems with his son and whatnot. So I think that'll be the case, and I think that'll really turn over a new leaf because Harrison will see how the family is friendly with Dexter, and maybe it'll kind of like build the
because he's
relationship even
lying to
more.
them. He's a fake
Yep.
person to them. I thought when you said, I can't remember, you said some phrase that you thought would be the other way around or something like that. I thought you were talking about Dexter's gonna have a relationship with his work girl. I'm like, oh my god, like let's not go down that route.
No.
Like, oh, your dad is so handsome. No, you still don't think that's gonna happen? I think that it's gonna happen with the girl. I still think that they didn't talk at all this. Or wait,
They
they
talked because
did.
she's like, "Look, it was Lady Vengeance that killed the guy."
Yeah, I get, but that was right at the end of this episode, right? So we didn't get more. I hope they do at least talk about the kiss again. I still thought they were gonna do it in a way that she just didn't want to because she had a kid, but
Well, they
I
didn't
don't
even
know.
kiss. She just totally shut
Or
him down.
well, he tried to kiss. That's what I mean, right? But yeah, no, I don't. I don't know. That'll be. I hope they return that. If not, that's just like a plot thread we didn't need, but we got that going on. Yeah, Kristen Ritter, she's arrested right now. I assume pretty dead to rights right now, but Uma Thurman's been instructed to get her out of there. Peter Dinklage, all he did in this episode, he just did like an interview, just like you're a billionaire and why, like that type of philanthropist email or interview. They talk about how he was an orphan and it wasn't like a Bruce Wayne one, like he came from nothing, but then he's a billionaire now. So we'll see. He was hosting a party. We still don't know what he wants because when Kristen Ritter got arrested, it wasn't just like, oh, whatever, killer's arrested. It was like, well, we've got to get her back for X, Y, and Z, right? So again, clearly they have something. I just don't know why. I'm kind of hoping that gets revealed next episode because we are halfway throughout the season, so I feel like they got to kind of get on that unless this is like a threat that's gonna like remain for another season. I don't know. I can't tell which route they're gonna go. But
Yeah.
yeah, Uma's like, yeah, I can't get her out. Sorry. He's like, oh, well, I pay you all this money. You said you're great. You're the best of the best. Are you the best? She's like, oh, absolutely. And then I guess she went to Harvard, also a lawyer. Again, we met her mom in this episode, so I'm guessing that's probably her motivation, right? To be working for Dinklage as her mom's sick at a hospital, so probably like paying all these bills and hospital bills and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. How do you think? Do you think they're gonna get her out legally with some loophole, or do you think Uma Thurman's gonna like go like full cleaner fixer and like find a way to like get sneaker out of there or something?
Well, I mean, yeah, Peter Dinklage's character. I mean, anything that were to be taken into account here with this episode is that okay, he's well situated with the city and people love him and adore him. Yeah, he's an orphan, and
Mhm.
if you adopt from that orphanage home, then he'll pay off those parents' mortgage for their house. Which I understand what he was saying. Like, lady, don't advertise that because then kids are going to be getting adopted for the wrong reasons. Right?
Yeah.
Be adopting kids to pay their mortgage off, but yeah, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Do you think
Uh,
she, like I said, did she get her out legally or like a illegal sneak way?
I think it has to be legal. I can't see them
Okay.
doing anything. I mean, they're obviously be doing things that are very illegal, but I think in the public eye, that kind of aspect, it'll either be legally getting her out or they'll just kill her or something like that.
Oh Jesus Christ! I don't think they'll kill her because Kristen Ritter, bigger. Well, they did get rid of Neil Patrick Harris. I just feel like if they killed her, if they were gonna kill her, they could have just made the cops like shoot her, right, or something like that, like just kill her off that way. But so right now we got her, and we got David Dastmalchian. We got the ponytail one. Is there anyone else I'm missing that was in the gang? Because Ritter's locked up. Dark Pasture's dead.
And you said there's the Baba Yaga guy from Ant-Man.
Yeah, and then the ponytail guy. I think it's only two left, right?
Why do I feel like there's three? I thought
That's
there
what I
was
thought
six.
too. But
Let me
are we
look.
just counting the Dark Passenger? Because we got
Um,
because we got Dark Passenger, we got her, we got Ponytail Guy,
Here
David
we go.
Dastmalchian, Neil Patrick
Prater's
Harris.
serial
That's who we're thinking
killers.
of. Just Neil Patrick Harris is dead.
There's Mia Lowell.
Who the fuck's Mia?
Mia is the sexual predators.
Okay,
Lady Vengeance.
Okay, yeah. Locked
Lowell,
up.
who's a tattoo collector.
He's
Gareth
dead.
is a Gemini. Yeah. Al, Jolly, Rapunzel. Yes.
who?
I
Wait a
guess
second.
Keith was the sixth one who they killed off though.
Oh, Uma Thurman did with that bat, right?
Yeah, yeah.
right. Okay, that's what we're thinking. Yeah, he's not coming
Ronald
back.
Schmidt.
Right, Ron. It wasn't Rob. It was Ronald. Right.
Ronald, yeah.
Okay. There we go. Let me look at my notes here. Oh, I found. It's funny because Kirkland said this last week, bastard. But we'll give him next week. But the bastard said that he's talking about original sin, and we talked about something, and he's like, "Yeah, it just feels like that. It's like a DLC, or sometimes not even included in the show." What was very odd when Dexter was talking about his first kill with Lady Vengeance, they did not use
Yes.
yeah, they did not use the original Sin footage. They used the Dexter footage of Michael C. Hall, obviously his face is covered, but with him in the wig, and which was so weird because the first episode of Original Sin is just them redoing that flashback. It's like the Harry Potter TV show where it's like, oh, the movie, this is the same thing, but it's expanded. The Original Sin episode is the first kill expanded. So I thought, I had this theory too that anytime now they do flashback, they would use Patrick Gibson because like, oh, that's perfect. He's in the show. You won't have to have Michael C. Hall in the wig. But no, they used the old show. Did you catch it off guard? Like it almost makes it feel like again, Original Sin is like its own like almost non-canon thing. Like it is, but like it almost feels like they're ignoring. Because why wouldn't you use a clip of the new show just to even have that synergy going on?
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
I can only think maybe they didn't because they didn't think there was going to be another season of the show. It was a one-off. Like I don't know. Maybe they started doing this show before they did Original Sin, and this scene was already locked in. I don't know. There could be several reasons.
Yeah. Let's see. I went through. That was my last note. Is there anything else specifically we haven't talked about in this episode so far?
I can't think of anything other than, I mean, it wasn't in this episode, but I'm waiting to see what's going to happen when Dexter has to give his big presentation and how it's going to go down.
What?
Remember, Prater's like, all my new guests have to do one big new presentation,
No, I
like a
forgot
show and
about
tell
that.
or something like that. Remember? So he was walking Dexter out. And he's like, I can't wait to see what you do for your show and tell presentation or something like that.
Oh no, I didn't. Good Peter
Yeah.
Dinklage, by the way, but no, I did not remember that. Okay, yeah, maybe that's when he just reveals he's killed them all. To be honest, like he might have like little trophies or whatnot. Because I see this thing. I still think Kristen. I guess to circle back to what we were talking about earlier, I think Kristen Ritter will get out because she's gonna find out that Dexter set her up, and they're gonna have a like action scene, fight scene, kill scene, something like that. That's what I think is gonna happen. So, and the other thing we didn't talk about is, again, stupid Dexter, where the guy he's staying with, his mom's walking up the steps, she falls down. He helps her up, brings her in, and it's just a whole conversation. You're so lucky to have your parent around. Like, oh, and again, does not work. These are normal people, normal lives, but he's listening to advice from these normal people about how he can be a serial killer. But I just waiting for those people to be in danger. I'm waiting. Maybe Christopher is gonna fuck him up. I don't know if any of them have tattoos. I don't know, but then we'll be back next week. We'll I guess next week, yeah, that'll be the eve of the stream. That'll be but luckily 24 hours, right? It's only like only 10 hours or maybe a little longer if people go, but even then it's well, maybe it's a later night. We end 11, 12, but I ain't no staying up overnight and stuff. So